So, how are you today?
I'm okay.
So I know last time we talked about how you're thinking of going to Brazil to find your parents.
Yeah. I guess since the last time I was here, I do have more information. Turns out I have the name of my birth mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't really know anything about my father, though, but at least I know her name and kind of like the town or the village that she lives in, so.
Oh, and how did that make you feel about the whole situation?
Pretty conflicted. I mean, it's exciting because, after all this time, like, I finally know where I come from and, who my real mother is, but at the same time, I don't want to make my parents, my adoptive parents, I don't want to make them feel bad because I want to do this for myself.
Right. And how has the whole relationship been since you told them up front that you wanted to go on this trip?
Well, I'm lucky that they've been pretty supportive. I mean, all my life they've been supportive of almost anything that I wanted to do. And I think that they understand that this is something that I need. But, I could see it in their faces. They're maybe a little bit worried because I think, what if I go and meet her, and what if I like it there? What if I, want to live there? And I'm sure that's what they feel.
And if that situation was to occur, if you found your parents and you feel like you really want to spend more time with them, do you think your parents will be accepting of that? Or how do you think they'll really react to that?
I don't know that they would be so supportive of that because my parents are pretty cautious people. They've taught me, I guess, to be, careful in making important decisions, and so for me to want to do something like that, it would sound kind of crazy. Brazil is thousands of miles from here. It's a completely different lifestyle, I'm sure. And, if I were to leave, then, that's a piece of them that I'm taking. I'm their child.
All right. And what about the other situation? What if you get there and it's not, sometimes we have these expectations of things, and so what do you think in the other situation if you go and you're disappointed by what you find? How do you think you'll exactly deal with that?
I guess it would be really sad, for after all of this time to not really pan out, to be disappointing like you said. But then maybe I could just put it behind me and just move on with my life and not really have to think about it again.
So basically you want to confirm what your roots come from, like where you're from. Is that the only sole purpose of the trip that you want to take?
Well, I guess so. And it's also from, myself in the way that, like, I want to, I want to grow into my own person. Like, I want to be more independent, and by starting off by going on this trip by myself, that's a lot of independentness that I didn't have before. I think it would just help me, learn things about myself, like who I am as a person and what direction I'm going to take my life in.
So this trip is pretty much a big influence on the direction you want to head in your life?
Yeah, I hope it would be that. Yeah.
And so I know you're trying to research things about your parents. What exactly have you been doing to...
Well, there is this website that I used. It's like a website that they, you have to pay a little bit, but they help you find people like your birth parents or lost, family members and things like that. And so I had to give, you know, my information, like my date of birth, and of course my parents helped me supply some of that information, and with that, you know, this agency, they helped me, like I said, get the name of my birth mother. So at least I know that and the area that she lives in. And I'm still working on trying to get more details, you know, like maybe her address, so at least when I get there, I'll know where to go.
Okay, so part of you growing up, then what was it really like? Because, I mean, obviously you knew you were different from your parents since you're different ethnicity and stuff, but how did you exactly know when you wanted to seek out and find your birth parents?
I guess probably when I was in high school. I mean, yes, like you said, I always knew that I was different, but my family never treated me differently, and I just always felt like I was like them. And maybe when I was younger, I didn't really see a difference, you know, like in skin color or anything like that. To me, they were just mom and dad, and that's how it always was. But, yeah, maybe when I got to high school, you know, as you start thinking about the future, like going to college, and, like, what am I going to do with my life, and, you know, am I going to get married, am I going to have kids someday, or what am I going to do, and just, I don't know, that idea, you know, kept bothering me for a while, that, you know, obviously I came from somewhere else, and just wondering, like, who is this person, and how did I get to be adopted? And my parents don't know. All they know is that, you know, they found me through International Adoption Agency, but they didn't really have too many details, like why my mother put me up for adoption.
So when you were, like, struggling with your identity, like, what kind of emotional feelings were you feeling, like, at that time?
Well, I guess I felt a little sad because I thought, you know, like you hear about other people who were adopted, maybe she didn't want me, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe she was selfish, and, like, taking care of a child would have been, I don't know, like, an obstacle or a hindrance in her life, so it was just better for her to get rid of me. But I also wonder, well, maybe she did it for my own good. Maybe she couldn't have provided, like, a good life. I don't know, like, just...
So just very conflicting
Yeah.
feelings about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And how soon do you plan on taking this trip? I mean, you said you don't really know the address yet and things like that, so...
Well, my ticket is set for next month, so, you know, I'll have some time off from school then, and, yeah, I'll be all set to go, and hopefully I'll have more information by then.
And your parents, are they going to accompany you, or are you just going to go by yourself? Or?
Well, we're still debating that. I mean, I think at least one of my parents will want to come with me. Like I said, they're very cautious people, and, you know, Brazil is probably not the safest place to be traveling by yourself. But at the same time, I feel like this is something I have to do for myself. So I should just go for it and just go alone.
Go alone?
Yeah.
So you really just want to tackle this problem by yourself? Is that how you...
I think so, yeah. I think that's how I feel about it. I mean, I feel like maybe having one of my parents there might hinder the situation in some way, you know, maybe make things more awkward than they probably will be. So I'm sure they'll be awkward, and yeah, I don't know. I considered even taking, like, a friend, you know, someone, like, neutral to this, but I'll still have to see if anyone's available to go.
Okay. So you think your parents will hinder anything that happens over there? If they do happen to go, then you think it'll be a hard time for them to deal with it, and your birth parents too?
Well, think so, because, you know, parents, like I said, they raised me since I was very young, so I think they would be overprotective,
Mm.
you know, and maybe, I don't know, not let things pan out like they should.
Okay. So, our time is up, but let me know next week how everything goes and if you find any more information.
Okay, thanks.